ranked New Hampshire Wildcats. UNH is making their 21st appearance in the NCAA tournament. They've earned a berth in 14 of the last 15 seasons, including 10 straight, which is the second longest active streak. This is their fourth appearance at a Manchester Regional. At the podium for the Wildcats is 21st-year head coach Dick Umili. We have Hobie Baker finalist senior Paul Thompson, senior captain Mike Sislo, and senior assistant captain Matt Campanelli. If you have any requests for student-athletes outside of the conference, please direct those to UNH SID Tom Wilkins. We'll start with opening comments from Coach Umili, followed by questions for the student-athletes. Once we're done with that, we'll dismiss the student-athletes and take questions for Coach Umili. Please raise your hand. We'll bring the microphone to you. And then once you're called on, please state your name and affiliation before you ask your question. So, Coach, you want to start off?
We're excited. Obviously, we're excited to be here at the Verizon in Manchester, and obviously we've got a senior team here that's played here before, and we think we have a great field here at the Verizon. And this is all about our seniors, their leadership, and this team. And we're excited with the opportunity. We're going to play a very, very good Miami of Ohio team that we saw earlier in the season, and we're all aware of how well they've been playing as of late. But it's great to have Miami, Notre Dame, and Merrimack here, and I think it's going to be a great field for college hockey here at Verizon, the NCAA tournament.
Questions for the student-athletes? Mike.
Mike Z with the Portsmouth Herald. I guess for Mike as the captain, the philosophy behind the facial hair look for this weekend?
Yeah, we scrapped the beards earlier this week and decided to go with the mustaches. So I think we look very good, and hopefully that will help us this weekend.
Rick Cassano from the Hamilton Journal-News in Ohio. For the players, really for any of you, can you talk about the differences between Miami now and Miami? Seems like years ago you played them when the season started, but the differences between now and then?
I think like most teams in the country have obviously grown a lot over the year, and we're a much different team than we were then. I'm sure they still play a similar style to how they played, but deeper in the area, obviously have lines that are clicking. They have guys that are established as great hockey players and some of the best players in the country over there. And just from the goal out, they're a great team. So I think they've grown over the course of the year and have become a much better team. But I think we have too, and I think it's a good matchup for us, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
I just think that when we played them in the beginning of the year, obviously as Paul said, everyone was just starting off. So no one really knows where they're at. But towards the end of the year, it looks like their power play is really taken off, and they've shown that they're one of the top teams in the country in that aspect. So we definitely have to watch out for that. And they've definitely shown they have some guys that can move with the puck, so we got to be careful of that too as well.
Yeah, same thing. I think they're a great team, and we're gonna have to give them everything we got.
More questions for the student-athletes? Al?
Yeah, Alan Lessels, union leader. Could you guys, the seniors or the players, talk about 2 years ago when you were here and kind of the excitement of the North Dakota game in particular, and what you were thinking as that game wound down, and just kind of some of the thoughts on the bench or on the ice?
I think that you get into the national tournament and you lose and you're done, and we know that, we recognize that, and we just kept battling the whole game. It seemed like we gave up a goal, then we battled back, and it just seemed we kept doing that the whole game. 60 minutes we kept battling back, and finally paid off with 0.1 seconds left, and then we took care of business in overtime, and it was it's how we got to play.
I just say that that weekend, I remember that we played two really good games against North Dakota. The first one had that goal that was incredible, and then played another solid game against BU the next night and ended up losing on a kind of fluky goal with 15 seconds left. But if we play like we did in those two games, we should be fine. And it definitely helps having the support of the fans behind us being here in Manchester.
Just like Matt was saying, that I think that was definitely a learning experience for our team, and that kind of showed guys, and we learned how we have to play in the national tournament to be able to compete. And Against North Dakota, we played a 60-minute game. We tied it up with 0.1 seconds left, and we're fortunate enough to win in overtime. And then the next night, we played another great 60-minute game and lost with 15 seconds left in the third period. But I think that that weekend there went a long way for our senior class in kind of teaching us how to stick with it and play 60-minute games, and how you have to play to have some success in the national tournament when every team you're playing is so high caliber.
Any final questions for the student athletes?
Hi, I'm Mike Whitmer with the Boston Globe. Coach, you mentioned having so many seniors and upperclassmen on your team. I guess for the guys, is there sort of a fine line to walk then, emotional-wise, to know that you want to play your game, but there's maybe a sense of urgency that this could be it?
I think at this time of year, whether you're a senior or freshman, you have to have the mindset that you have. I mean, obviously it's one and done if you lose, so you have to have the mindset that you have to win. But as seniors, I think we definitely have a little more urgency. I mean, it's our last go at it. We don't have another. There is no next year in college hockey for us, and I think it's something we've taken upon ourselves to try to set an example this weekend and come out tomorrow and show the team the effort that we need. But I think we're ready. But I definitely think there's a little more urgency just because for the 6 or 7 seniors that we have, there's no tomorrow if we lose.
I think that from the past NCAA tournaments that we've been in, we've all seen how the seniors of those classes have felt after the games. They're just crushed because it's their last game, and I know I don't want to feel that way, and none of us guys want to feel that way. So I mean, hopefully we can just play that game and take it all the way and not feel that disappointment there.
Yeah, our ultimate goal at the end of the year is to win a national championship, and I think that's kind of what we try to stay positive and think about good things like that. I don't even want to think about the end of the season or this being done and our careers being done here at UNH. We want to stay positive and work hard, and good things will happen.
Just a quick follow-up then, Coach. Hearing those answers, is there any concern that your team might place a little added pressure on themselves? And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
No, I don't think it's added pressure. I think it's experience, and there's no substitute for experience. And we haven't won it yet, but we've played real well here, and not gotten to the Frozen Four. And our goal is, and we're going to have to go through first Miami if we're going to get there. And I think what they're sharing with you is the experiences that they've had, good and bad. So it's all about this game, and we're just focusing on Miami, and I don't think there's any substitute for having the experience. And with this senior class, it's a positive for us.
Any last questions for the student athletes? You guys are all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach Emilio?
Good.
Mike.
Dick, could you just talk a little bit about the importance of goaltending? I know you've addressed it all week, and how do you kind of stress that importance without putting anything more on the back of your goaltender?
We don't do anything special as far as that's concerned in our locker room, Mike. It's I think everybody knows that when you get into the tournament, you don't get here without great goaltending, and we've had it all season. Matt's given us an opportunity to win, and most nights, right to the end of the game, he's given us that opportunity, whether we won it or lost. But obviously, we won more than we lost. That's why we're here, and I think the same mindset going into the NCAA tournament. You don't continue on in the NCAA tournament without good goaltending. Your team's got to play well, and the goaltender has to play well.
I know Ricky said it's been a while since you faced Miami, but in a tournament like the NCAA, is it better to go up against a team that you're familiar with, or would you rather play someone that you haven't seen and don't know?
We've the funny thing is we end up seeing most of the teams, but at this point in the season, it's about your team, how well you're going to play. We're familiar with Miami, but they're a real veteran team. They've been at it 2 Frozen Fours. They were in the national championship game the year that we played well against North Dakota and BU and lost to BU, and BU went on to win that game against Miami, and obviously they've had some great experiences as well. But they're a veteran team that's a very skilled team, and we're going to have to play our very best, and it's all about Miami right now.
Same thing. Can you go back to 2 years ago in that North Dakota game and stuff, and what kind of you were thinking on the bench and what your bench guys were going through?
It was an incredible game. A whole lot of things happened, with the face-off to making changes, who was going to take the shot at the point. We changed the face-off. We lost a couple of face-offs. Thomas Fortney, we decided to put him in there, and he wins the draw, and puck goes off the back of the net. We find a way, Polistone, we score it, and then LeBlanc scores the winner. It was an incredible game, but I think the disappointment was how well we played the next night against Boston University and lost that game, and they ultimately went on to win the national championship. But we played well that weekend here, and hopefully we play well again here tomorrow, starting with our 4 o'clock game.
Hi, Coach. Greg Waddell with Miami Radio. I know Coach Blasey thinks the world of you. Could you talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Rigo?
It's special. I mean, I'd like to play for the guy. I know I'm older than him, but I'd love to play for him. I think he's terrific. I keep saying he's one of the young talents, but he's been around a long time, and he's accomplished a lot at a very early age in a very competitive league here in Division I college hockey. But I like the way he treats his players, how he's handled the media, everything about him. I think he's a terrific coach, but I know him to be a wonderful person, and I just admire everything he does, and he's got a great program going there.
Rick Asano from the Hamilton Journal-News. Can you characterize the matchup here in terms of your strengths against their strengths, the X's and O's of it?
Well, I think we've got a senior group there, our senior line, and they know they've got to play well, and I've not put pressure on them, and they know what I expect of them. They got to play their very best and lead by example. I think the younger guys will follow. I think we match up pretty well. I think goaltending, we're going to be solid in that area. Defensively, we've got an experienced defensive core. They might have a little bit more depth up front in their lines, but our guys have grown. As Paul had mentioned, our younger lines are playing very well for us right now. The Berizanok line and the Salingo line are playing well, so we're happy with that. So I think we got a little bit more balanced at the end of the season than we had at the beginning of the year when we played them.
More questions for Coach Emili?
The last thing on Enrico, the fact that he's Italian helps a lot too. Thanks, gang.
Thank you, Coach.